Hi, I'm Odelia from Team 1515, and this is Bandsaw machine training. So what you want to do is first make your measurement. So you want to know where you're going to be cutting, and you want to know which side is your waist side. So which side you're going to be using and which side you can cut into a little bit. And then what you're going to do is first you want to make sure that your guard is at the right level. So if you come back here, you can loosen it. This is the way our bandsaw is structured. So first you loosen it, and then you can use this knob over here. And what you can do is you can see this way, it turns up. So then you're going down, and you want it around 1/4 of an inch above the piece of wood that you're going to be cutting. So, or if you can just look, you can just see, you don't want your finger to be fitting. That's pretty much how you want it to be positioned. And then once we have the optimal height, we're just going to lock it in, and you should feel some resistance, and then it tightens. So then what we're going to do from there is we want to adjust our fence. This fence is going to help guide as you are cutting your bandsaw. And what you can do is it's just lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So you can lefty-loosey, open it, loosen it, and then you can take your wood piece, adjust it, see where you want to be cutting, and then you can move your fence to where it'll help you the best, and then you can tighten it. One thing to remember when you're cutting with the bandsaw is that you want to go approximately like a 1/16 of an inch into the waist side, just to account for, you know, errors or just going into it a little bit, because you don't want it to go into the actual piece and take off a little bit of the measurement. So now that we have everything, this is tightened, and we have our piece where we want it, what we're going to do is we just got to make sure that it's also pulled out, because if this is in, then it will not turn on if we press the start button. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out and then press start. That blade is started. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure our hands are on both sides, and we're just going to guide it along. Now with wood you can go a little bit faster, but with metal you have to go a little slower. So we can just go. And then once you're done, you want to press on the brake to slow it down, and then to stop it. Things you want to make sure of is that you're going at the right speed. So if you're going too slow, then what you'll see is that you'll smell a little bit like wood burning, and that can really help you know that you are going too slow and you have to speed it up a little bit. It'll probably take a little bit of time, but with practice, you'll get really comfortable with the bandsaw. Another thing you want to make sure is that if you have a little piece or something that's hard to push all the way through without making sure that your thumb isn't in the way of the bandsaw, then you have two options to get that piece in the back. You can either use another piece of wood to push it through, or you can hold it from the back. So another part of using the bandsaw is making relief cuts. So if you have something where it's a hard angle, or you're not sure if you're gonna be able to get it all in one swoop, what you can do is you can make relief cuts along the shape, and then that'll just help you guide, and it'll help you ease with your bandsaw. So here we have it for our curve, and we're gonna make it around every 1/2 inch to an inch along this curve. And as I'm cutting, if I go in on the wrong angle, or if I do something wrong, or I'm just not that confident, this will be much easier for me. gonna go along, and just because I'm not that confident about my angle, I'm gonna make one more over here. And now what I'm gonna do is I wanna go made it much easier to cut, so I'm just going to go through, getting the most screws out of the way, and I'm going to keep going. This whole time I'm making sure I'm staying to the waist side of the line, and I'm making sure that I am not going into the piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down and stop the blade. And I can clean this up a little bit, but I have a rough sketch of my curve. So a couple other things you want to make sure is that when you have to cut a corner piece and you're going to have to back out of it, what you want to do is go for the short side first and then back out and then go for the long side. And especially if you're not confident about backing out, you want to make sure that you stop the blade before you back out, because everything you want to do is make sure you're preventing breaking or snapping the blade. That's it for me. Thank you and see you soon.
Go more torque.